let me introduce myself. My name is Mark Weiss. I'm the president of your Homeowners Association. Thank you. Number two, welcome to our house. This has been an extremely arduous adventure with a lot of up and downs, a lot of last-minute issues, but we're here. And tonight, I want to tell you this is a cooperative effort. We have the golf course, and this is a separate entity, and they have the HOA. We have two management companies now. They're working together. Both our day porters from the HOA side and the staff from Green Golf, which is the interim management company that's here, that was placed here by the bankruptcy court before CourseCo gets on. Yeah, I know. A big cooperative effort, and that's what we're hoping for. That's what I know we will get out of CourseCo First Service as we move forward in this process of renovation and rehabilitation of this golf course. And the reason we're here tonight, I thought it was appropriate to be here since it's town hall. But actually, the reason we have standing room only is because the Diablo room is booked for the next 2 weeks, and we could not get in there. And we wanted to have this town hall meeting prior to CourseCo coming on. Actually, they start on Monday, so they will be here. So I want to introduce the rest of our board members down here. We have Barbara Downs, our secretary, Joel Oslin, member at large, David Glass, our vice president. Our CFO, Mike DeBrow, is under the weather, couldn't be with us tonight. We wish him well and that he'll get over his illness quick and come back soon. Then I'll introduce right now Barry Slavin, who is, what should I say? He's the mouthpiece of the ad hoc committee. And I will introduce him as our MC tonight, and he will take it from here and do the rest of the introductions. Thank you very much for being here, and thank you for your support.
Again, good evening. It's nice to see you all. Keep in mind that there is a videotape machine tonight, so if you're going to throw lemons or tomatoes, you will be on camera. This is, as Mark mentioned, and there's something that I think some of you have attended some of our public meetings and you've heard me say this, but I'm going to say it again anyway because I believe that everybody needs to hear this message. You need to be very proud of your master board. The amount of time that they spent on this issue is unlike anything I have ever encountered in 55 years in business and 20 years as a public service. There is nothing like a bankruptcy. And I want to point out to many of you who have not attended any of the golf advisory meetings that we have a very, very specialized crew of people who have come forward through a search process that involved 20 candidates, and the 5 of us were lucky enough to be chosen. Bill Amet is here. Bill is an expert in construction. Ron Chalmers has been in golf almost as long as I've been alive. Many of you know our chair, Lynn Traver, from her exploits. And the one person who has more experience running golf courses than me, Gary Sayer, who is an agronomic expert. I tried to explain yesterday at the board meeting that being involved, I was basically the liaison from our committee to our master board through the process by virtue of the experience that I had as the liaison at Boundary Oak Golf Course in Walnut Creek, and going through process, going through transition. I likened the bankruptcy proceeding to when you buy one of those Velcro dartboards and you throw and it does not stick. Well, that's like dealing with the 10 attorneys that were involved in the bankruptcy proceeding. Or to put it in terms of some of you understand, it's like playing night golf with no lights. So basically, that's what we've gone through. So I moved here 20 months ago, and essentially that's when the process was starting, probably 24 months ago. A gentleman by the name of Don Syke, who was a former board member, found out what I did. The questions started. And I think a couple of years from now, you're going to be pretty proud of the process. I've known the CourseCo people for somewhere around 12 years. One of my jobs was to oversee them. And many of you have followed this process, which was we issued an RFP, and we had 6 respondents, and we narrowed it down to 3. And through that process of vetting, we chose CourseCo for a variety of reasons. One, in all their other 37 properties, first of all, they've been in business for 30 years. Their clients swear by them. They've never lost a contract. The second thing is when you talk to people from their properties, you find out that they have a great ability to listen. And I think you'll find that over time, that's going to be a great thing for us, because I found out 20 months ago, this is a pretty vocal community. So I think that those are the kinds of things that are going to speak very well to the process. What I want to do is assure you that those of you that filled out those green cards with your questions, if in the process tonight, there's not enough time to answer everything that's on there, we will at some point in time, either by virtue of the great emails that Mark has been sending out explaining process, or through our newly formed Golf Advisory Committee. I don't know if you all heard yesterday, but we're going to be a permanent group now, which is probably a little unnerving. So what I'd like to do is caution everybody that CourseCo is going to make a presentation. Hopefully most of your questions will be covered in the presentation, but we assure you your voices will be heard over time. Your questions will get answered. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you somebody who I've known for 12 years. When I first met him, he was not the president and CEO of CourseCo. He is today. He's one of the sharpest people I know in the industry. CourseCo is one of the top management companies in all the country. Mr. Michael Sharp.
I'm only going to try this once, if I can go without the microphone.
Sure.
No? No good? You can't hear me back there? Hold on. Fair?
Check.
Check, check. Hear me now? All right. So, thank you, Barry, board. Really appreciate being here tonight and getting the opportunity to get in front of everybody and do this town hall meeting. Mark, that was excellent. To get the cheers when you said this is our house. This is really a special day, a special night for us. I'm going to tell a little bit about myself and a little bit about CourseCo, and then we're going to share a little bit about our vision for the future. And during that, hopefully I answer some of your questions. And then tonight is really about hearing from you. We want to answer your questions to the best of our ability. This is your facility. You bought it. You own it. Thank goodness. And so we want to be able to hear from you tonight so we can take that back and it'll be part of our planning process over the next several months. But first, I'm Mike Sharp, President and CEO of CourseCo. To my right, we have Lance Merrihew in the gray jacket here. He's our Vice President of Sales and Marketing. We have Sean Silva to his right. Sean is our Senior Operating Manager, and Sean's role specifically for Rio Vista here at the golf club is to provide oversight, support for the on-site management team here. You've probably seen these guys a lot already. We've already had our HR director here, we've had our COO here, we've had our senior managers here, we've had our senior agronomist here. Even though we don't officially start till Monday, it feels like we started 7 years ago. A little brief history. I don't know if anybody remembers me from 7 years ago, but we did this. I don't know. How many people remember us from 7 years ago? Town Hall. Okay, that's fantastic. So this journey started about 7 years ago when the idea first came up with the potential acquisition of Rio Vista Golf Club by the Homeowner Association. And at that time, we did a lot of due diligence, put a lot of sweat and tears, analysis into the property. And at that time, we thought we had a deal. We thought we were going to be operating the golf course. But unfortunately, as you know, that did not happen. And then about 2 years ago, there was another opportunity, and I won't mention and get into too much detail, but again, we thought we had a deal to run your golf course, and we were excited. It didn't happen. So then the third time, we went through a strenuous and very thorough and comprehensive vetting process with 6 other firms, and we were fortunate, extremely fortunate, to secure and win the opportunity to be your operating partner. And as much as you guys cheered and were excited that you bought the golf course, we feel the exact same jubilation and excitement to be your partner. And I'm going to tell you why. CourseCo's been in business for 30 years. This is our 30th anniversary. We have 38 properties. Some are private clubs, some are semi-private, some are public. The majority of them are typically municipal golf courses. And we operate really best in class in all those properties. After this meeting, you can stick around. I can tell you some stories about Barry and Walnut Creek. Yeah, and maybe you don't want to hear those stories. But Barry's right. We've never had a municipal contract cancel or fail to renew. And our longevity and our relationships with our golf courses are unprecedented in the industry. And that's because, as your partner, we operate with 4 guiding principles. 4 things when we make our decisions. Number 1, it's financial performance. We got to drive the bottom line. That's why we're hired. We're hired to drive the bottom line. Number 2 is community inclusion. These golf courses, restaurants are typically owned by communities, taxpayers, residents, operators and owners in the land, of the land in the community. And if only 10% play golf, what do we do for the other 90%? And so you'll see from us as we move forward a very rich program that invites all the community out here to use the facilities, whether that's trivia night, karaoke night. Go ahead, hey, let's applaud. I'm not going to lie, it feels really good when people applaud, just so you know. But we believe in rich programs. We believe in having a full calendar. And so we're excited to have the ability to come into this community and do what we do best, and that's community programming, and you'll see that. The third is our environmental stewardship and leadership. There's no firm as decorated as CourseCo in the industry. No firm has decorated us. We've won more environmental leadership and golf awards. Just this year in 2019 in February, by the Golf Course Superintendent Association, we won the President's Award, which is the most prestigious environmental award you can win in the country. And we were down in San Diego at the Golf Industry Show and received that award. It's one of our guiding principles, and we're very proud of that. It really does feel good. And the fourth guiding principle is stakeholder communication. What we're doing tonight, these town halls, working with the board, communicating, being honest, straightforward, protecting each other, sharing bad news, sharing good news, and being able to make sure that our stakeholders, the users of the facilities, the owners of the facilities, the guardians of the facility, are fully informed. We have a duty to communicate. And you'll see that. Tonight is just our first town hall meeting. We had a meeting prior to this tonight, and we've committed as a group to do 3 town hall meetings in the next year because we want to share information. We want feedback, we want to hear your voice, and then we want to share what we're doing, the good, the bad, and everything in between. So those are our 4 guiding principles, and if we stick to those, it's been pretty successful for us, and nothing's going to change coming in here. When we proposed on being the management operator of the facility, there's a couple things that got us excited about it, and things that we saw opportunity. Number 1, your golf course is in terrible shape. That's just a fact. Terrible. Okay? There's only one direction to go coming in. And so we're excited about moving that needle. And I can't take credit, but I saw the water on a few minutes ago. But that was pretty good. But we saw the golf course. We went out there, we had our agronomist, we had our team go out there and look at it, and we said, okay, we can make a difference here. You know, there's some challenges, the bunkers, the infrastructure, the irrigation, the drainage, and we're going to work. The lack of turf. But our team believes that we can make some significant improvements over the next couple of years. And I say couple of years, don't get nervous, I'm going to come back to that in a second. Number two, we saw the opportunity in the restaurant. I'm not going to talk about the previous owner in a negative light. I can't comment on that. You guys can. But what I'll say is this: I don't understand. I won't comment on the restraints or why it was the way it was. But I'll say this: our vision for the restaurant is pretty simple. We're going to have good quality food, good hospitality and good service, consistent hours of operations, and rich programming to get you to come to the facility. That's what we want. But with that, there's an expectation that we're going to build it. That's not going to be the hard thing. You know, we're going to take the next 90 days. We're going to be working with the board to find out exactly what the menu looks like, what the hours of operations look like, what capital needs are necessary. Obviously, we have some capital needs that we got to address right here with the roof. So we're going to have...
I was here 7 years ago.
Okay. That is true. I actually sat there 7 years ago and saw that. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the next 90 days and we're going to... I don't know how much you want me to get into the details because I don't want to go too far for this. But we'll be coming up with the menus, the experience, what we're looking for, name, you know, a new name for the facility. Sorry, I stole that thunder. But more importantly, the point I was getting to is we're not going to be successful. No, we're going to improve the golf course. We're going to improve the restaurant, and you'll see it. And we're going to introduce new programs that you haven't seen, and we're going to enhance the ones that you currently have. I know you're just meeting me tonight, and you're going to say, "Oh, sure you are." No, we will. And then when we do, the expectation is that you're going to show up. Now, our expectation are we're not going to be successful unless you show up, unless you stay. I'm going to say this term, and maybe it's a bad term. Stay within the gates. When you go play golf, we want you choosing here to play golf first. We want you to call your friends and have them play golf here with you. We want your friends to call their friends and come play golf here. And the expectation is when you want to go eat Sunday brunch, or you want to have something in the afternoon to eat, that you come to your restaurant and you support it. Because you bought it, and our expectations are you're going to support it. And I'll tell you, we will deliver on the experience, we'll deliver on the food, we'll deliver on the ambiance, but the expectation is you meet us halfway and you utilize the facility. And we've done this work before, we're going to do it again here, and I'm telling you, we are extremely excited to be part of the renaissance here at Rio Vista. I know I played golf here 25 or so years ago, and the place was fantastic. It was known for the greens, the bar experience. I mean, it was phenomenal, the experience here. And then you go 5 years ago, and that experience has gone downhill. And there's reasons why. I get it, economics, economy, different owners, but that day has changed because you guys bought it, you hired us, and what we've been charged to do is to deliver the best possible experience for the residents. That's what we've been hired to do. That's in the food and beverage, that's in the golf, and that's on the program side, and that's what we're going to do. I know there's a lot of questions. I know that there's a lot of anxiety. And so I'm going to head off a couple things real fast, and then I'm going to turn it over to you, and I will be up here. As long as you ask questions, I will stay up here and answer them. But remember, I have 3 kids, a wife that's waiting for me at home. So I told her I'd be home Sunday. So we got to get this thing going. So one of the questions is going to be, well, what happens Monday? You guys take over Monday. What are we going to see? Well, I'm going to temper expectations real quick. And this is the reality. And one of the things you're going to get from CourseCo is direct talk. I'm going to talk turkey with you. And you may not like it, you may like it. But I will talk turkey. Nothing's going to change Monday. Nothing. We are going to take the next 90 days, and we have some priorities. And that is, number one, let's get our staff hired. Let's get them trained. Let's let them know what their roles are. And that is our number one priority. And I'm just gonna put it out there right now, and I'm gonna give you some inside information. We have hired a new general manager. Okay? Uh-oh. What about Scott? What happened? We've also hired Scott to be our assistant general manager. Yeah. We're excited that Scott stayed on board. We're excited about our new general manager. She is coming from another homeowner association where she currently oversees 2 properties, LPGA. Her resume is impeccable. We're excited to get here. She's moving, and she moves September 3rd. She should be on site September 4th, if I'm correct. And I will not say her name yet because I want to give her the opportunity to make sure she has told all of her interested parties and stakeholders before it leaks here. But we are very excited to get here. Very excited, and very excited for Scott, as Scott will join the CourseCo family, and we think he is an asset that we could not let go, and we're going to keep Scott on board, and we're excited about him helping us with the transition. Scott, thank you. So, I'll do some easy things real quick. Pricing. What's going to happen to my pricing on green fees? We're raising them Monday. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. We are doing nothing with pricing for 90 days. Okay, here's the deal. There's a lot of distribution channels for tee times at Rio Vista, whether it's Golf Now, Birdie Golf, T-Snap, whatever it may be, and I'm getting some of them wrong. Coupons out there. We have to get a grasp and get control of it. We don't even know what the pricing is because there's so many specials all over the place. We have to get it under control. And so we're going to spend the next 90 days evaluating the tee sheet, looking at the play patterns, and then we're going to come back with pricing for next year. That's what we're going to do. We're going to present it to the board and let them know here's our recommendation for pricing. And the pricing, there's no intent to raise prices and try to make a ton of money real quick on the backs of the new owners of the golf course. No, we want to make pricing that's going to, and have inducements that get you to play more golf, frequent the facility, and help us turn this place around. So that's what's going to happen. So number 2, what about annual passes and memberships? You're going to have those because we've had them. We don't have them. They came, they left. We don't know. We will have a membership program. We will have annual passes. And during the next 90 days, we're going to figure out what the best pricing is for that. Again, this is what we do for a living. Private club, semi-private, daily fee. We have a team, Lance's team, on the sales and marketing side and on the pricing side, that'll figure out what those programs are. Again, when we meet again in our next town hall meeting, sometime in the next 3 months, we will introduce all of that for you so you can make your decision. But again, those programs and those pricing are going to reflect our commitment to get more residents, more homeowners, more people within the community to play more golf. Just know that. And if you look at our track record and talk to some of our golf courses and talk to some of our facilities, we are very fair. We're smart. We know this stuff. We have all the algorithms, all the matrix to get the right pricing, and we're not going to try to gouge the residents to try to make a bottom line. So what's going to happen over the next couple years, though? To be frank, as we improve the golf course, as we make the capital improvements, as we have turf out on the fairways, okay? As we have clean restrooms out on the golf course, as we have safe walkways and entranceways and odors that are pleasant and like cookies, the pricing will probably reflect that at some time. But I'm not saying today the prices are changing, and I'm saying just changing in 6 months. But expect, as we turn this around, this is a huge project for all of us. And it doesn't change overnight, but as we change it over the next 12 months, 18 months, 36 months, 48 months, there will be slight increases in certain areas, and I believe everybody would pay a little more if the experience was a lot better than what it is today. So, with that said, I can talk probably for about 7 hours, but I'll bore you. So instead, I'm going to open it up to Q&A. I will do my best to answer questions. and we'll go from there. And I guess I will be the facilitator too and just hold the microphone. Is that how we want to do this?
Well, you're younger than me.
Like quite a bit. Dad. I have a history with Barry, like I said, I'll tell you afterward. He's been a pain in my side, and we almost didn't bid on this when I found out he lived out here. So are there any questions? And I will do my best, and let's keep it friendly and positive, because this is a celebration tonight. Yes. I didn't hear you. You want to use the microphone so they can hear you?
Place the current staff.
Can't hear you.
To have, are you going to keep the current staff that you
Okay.
have now? Because I understand that the bartenders that you have currently do not have bartending licenses. Are they supposed to have bartending licenses?
Okay, so it's a very specific question. So the question is, and it's a general question, what are you going to do about staffing? Are you hiring the current staff? And the current staff that you hire, whether it's a bartender or a superintendent, do they have adequate license and training for the job? And the answer to that question is, we are 100% in compliance. We don't have a choice. So any license permits that an employee is required to have, safe serve cards, any regulatory, we are contractually obligated to make sure we're in compliance. So the answer to that question is yes. Next question is, what about the current employees? We had a job fair last week, and we have opened it up to all current employees, and we've encouraged every single one of them to join us. And our success rate or transition rate is typically about 95% of the current employees will stay on board. I don't anticipate that changing with this. And what we find with employees, typically, some will say, well, gosh, some are good, some are bad. Hey, don't hire this person, hire that person. What we like to do is take that 95%, give them clear job descriptions, give them uniforms, name tags, training, set expectations, and give them an opportunity to succeed. Sometimes we find the employee that was disengaged, maybe not happy, find out under a little bit of structure and a little bit of support, they actually rise up. And we typically find that the employees have the best institutional knowledge. They know where all the skeletons are buried. They know the rumors, the gossip, and they help us navigate moving forward. So we like to give them an opportunity. Now, they'll have 90 days to sink or swim. If they continue with a bad attitude or they show up late or whatever it is, we have an HR department that's not here tonight, but they deal with all that, and they'll methodically and follow the labor laws and move them on. But typically we find employees are positive when they come. Yeah. Yeah. Can you guys keep Barry sitting down for me?
We tried, but we failed.
Barry asked me, he says, they want to know what your favorite baseball team is. I'm like, that's weird. So did that answer your question? Okay. So one of the things that we wanted to do in the opening, which I guess inadequately did, was tell about our experience. Our company is over $100 million company a year annually in gross sales. Of that, about $30 million is food and beverage. Food and beverage and restaurant business is something that we specialize in. Someone said, hey, your restaurants, they're all over the place. Do they reflect, what type of restaurants is going to be here and what's your experience? I'll answer it simply. Our restaurants reflect the clientele and the community in which they reside. We have private clubs, we have semi-private clubs, and we have different dining experiences from Sunday brunch to breakfast, lunch, and dinner to everything in between. We have fast and casual with tap handles, fire pits outside, TVs outside, windbreaks outside, to white table linen, to themed dinners, and everything in between. Mother's Day brunch, Easter brunch. We do the whole thing. The restaurant will reflect the community and what it will support. That's what this will be. I can tell you what it's not going to be, to cut that off. It's not going to be fine dining 7 days a week. We will not turn the lights down, put candles on the table, white table linen, and that will not be our experience. But from time to time, we will have a themed dinner like that and invite people out when we have dinners. We will absolutely do that. We also will not be McDonald's and put a drive-thru in up here and have that fast food experience. The experience is going to be someplace that is going to give you great pride to come here, a place you're going to feel comfortable bringing your friends, coworkers, sons, daughters, and colleagues to come have a good food and beverage experience. That's what we're going to deliver. And from time to time, we'll mix it up with different menus based on seasonality, and we'll mix it up with different programs and events. Whether that's an Italian night dinner, whether that's a luau, whatever it may be, we'll have a program rich so we can try new things to get people to come out here to be excited. But again, as I said, we're going to build it, we're going to deliver it, and we're going to expect you to show up. If everybody like this showed up to some of our events, I can tell you right now, we'll be successful. We don't know where you'll sit, but we'll be successful. And by the way, I live in Woodland, California, which isn't too far away, just so you know, and this place is near and dear to my heart. My wife, she works for a nonprofit. She does your blood drives out here. Her name's Heather. You've probably seen her. So this place is near and dear. So I just wanted to let you know that I am local. You will see me here. I will be involved. This is not just another golf course to us. This is a big turnaround project for us. And I'll be candid and frank. I'm taking before pictures right now. We are on the golf course taking those pictures, everything. And in 2 years, and in 3 years, and 4 years, I'm going to have the after pictures. And this is going to be a success story for us. This is going to be a renaissance story. And this is going to lead, I'll be crass, to more business for us. We want to be able to have this be a vignette or a success story that we can share with our next client. So that's how important this is to us. We're going to get it right for you. Okay? All right, since there's no more questions. Oh, the question is, Goose. I'm more of a Maverick fan from Top Gun than Goose. Is that what you meant? No. The geese. The geese. Yeah, so the geese will be part of the program. It's pretty simple. We have an agronomic plan. Our senior agronomist will work with the superintendent here to put it together. I don't know what the specific plan is tonight. I do not know. But I do know from everything, all the different technologies and the decoys, the laser lights, the different ways to, I wouldn't say eradicate, but mitigate and push on will be employed here. We've heard it, we've noted it, and it'll be part of the plan. We just it'd be unfair for me to say this is specifically what we're doing because we're in the process of hiring our superintendent. We have already put a plan together, but the details of that, they're just not ready to disclose at this time. But it is noted. Geese we're environmentalists. We're good to the environment, and so we want to do things that discourage them and not eradicate them. But it's part of the program.
During the interim period that you're going to work on an annual rate or some kind of rate for the homeowners, the card system that we put together out there turned out to be pretty successful. $200 a card. They couldn't keep enough cards in the office over there. You had to order more. Something like that cross your mind?
So I just want a clarification because we talked about that tonight. Specifically, that program, I don't know if we're going to do it. We're probably not. But I will tell you we will have a similar program to that. We will have programs designed to get you to buy golf, whether it's bundled, whether it's annual pass, or that's individual. What we don't want to do is we don't want to discourage you from playing. We want you playing. But some of those programs, it might have been so successful because it was too rich of a program for the consumer, and maybe that is $25 moving forward. I don't know, but we will get that pricing and we will share that with you. And I'm not giving you a flippant answer. I'm just telling you that some of these things that we've seen, $12 golf here, $20 golf with the cart, we just want to be smart in how we do it. And we might, and remember, we're also big on short-term inducements. That is for the next 30 days buy this product. For 6 months buy this product. And you will see that from us. And at the end of the day, we do have pricing integrity that we want to protect. And so we don't want to have so many things that are out there that all of a sudden we've eroded the price of golf to $12. But we will have some type of program for you.
A lot of the players in this room have wives that play golf too.
And some of the wives have husbands that play golf. Sorry about that. My bad. Okay, yeah, and we'll take that under. And these guys right here, they're taking notes. Yeah, the last thing we want to do is discourage you from playing golf. If we see someone that's playing 3 to 4 times a week, and all of a sudden our pricing has them playing 1 time a week, that's not good business. We need the golf course full, and we need you excited. And part of our job is to justify why you bought the golf course. So we need you out here playing golf. So we don't want to price you out. Okay.
Because this is an older community and some of the carts are older, sometimes they break down on the course. Do you provide a service that would at least tow them to their house?
What? Well, we can talk about you putting a flyer up in the pro shop and we can promote your business. But look. Okay, we'll note that. But at the end of the day, if we have broken carts out there, the last thing we want is people being disabled, having a disabled vehicle and have nowhere to fix it. So we'll figure out some type of partnership or some, and you can help guide us on that. And Sean or Lance, you got a note on that? You got the card?
His name is Steve.
Okay. We got a note on it. Yeah. Do you want to yell it and I'll repeat it? Yeah, well, I'll pull some of those in a second.
I'm just wondering, maybe it's a question for the HOA, I don't know for you. So obviously, we have no driving range anymore, and for some of us who our golf game sucks, we'd like to be able to do that, and it's very inconvenient to have to drive 30 or 40 minutes away. Is there any chance that we could fix that or remedy this?
So capital questions and actual improvements, I'm going to defer that to the HOA, the golf committee, to answer. So I'll just turn it over to Barry.
At the present time, think about this now. At the present time, we just spent $1 million acquiring a golf course. Okay, our efforts are going to be spent trying to return our golf course to what it once was. So in terms of buying more property to invest in what would probably cost another $1 million is probably going to be something that will move down on the priority list. But in terms of creating practice space, that's something that we will be talking to CourseCo about in the future as they're more familiar with the property and they realize what areas of the golf course we can utilize for that kind of purpose. Keep in mind, you're going to be getting a teaching professional coming here as the general manager. So. I wanted to address something that Al said, okay, if you're okay with this, okay? Think about this, Al. The punch cards were instituted by a company that was cash-strapped, needed enough capital to run this operation until they sold it through bankruptcy, okay? The difference is now, the dollars we take in here, we are going to reinvest back in the product. It's a whole different ballgame.
So I'll start answering some of these green ones, then I'll come back out to the crowd. Walking on golf course. No. I guess it's a question. So the answer to that is, we have several golf courses, obviously, and it varies from facility to facility. We have some golf courses that by city ordinance, they're considered a park. So we have to allow walking on the golf course. But typically, our insurance company and in private communities, it precludes us from walking on the golf course. So during the next 90 days, you have to be patient with us because this is just one policy that we have to clean up and tighten up around here because it's been vague, and we will clean this up. And we talked about it today. And so we'll be working with the board, making our recommendation and talking to our insurance company. And like I said, we have a couple courses that, because it's a city park, we allow walking. But typically our insurance precludes it. But we'll be working with the board on that one. That's a policy one. Okay. Next question. We answered that. It was a tough one. I just pretended to answer it. The question is, and this one is for Barry, will our HOA fees be going up? Are you going to be replacing and repairing the trees? And what parts of the golf course will be watered?
No, yes, yes. Everybody here, you guys know the budget process. You know what the master board goes through. You know that it's $8.35 right now. Think about this, what Mike is trying to encourage you. You come to the property, you use the property, you pay for golf, you pay for food and beverage, and we can make this a sustainable product over time, okay? Then you won't be dealing with an issue as far as the HOA is concerned, because our goal is to make this self-sustaining.
What will be the first thing addressed concerning the golf course condition? An agronomic plan, full complement of staff, expectations, mowing, watering, and then working with the board in the first 90 days to talk about capital and what are the big issues that we need to tackle and address for long-term health improvement of the turf conditions. That's our plan. It's that simple. Right now, we're in the process of hiring a superintendent. It's been challenging to say the least because of the marketplace, and in the spirit, candid, I'm going to be candid with you. We've brought three finalists out here in the last 3 weeks, and a couple of them have declined. The project was too big for them. But I want you to know, here's how we're selling it, though. This is a good story. You take this job as superintendent today, you're going to get the support of CourseCo. I have 38 superintendents, scientists, agronomists that work for me. I have 4 senior agronomists. These are the smartest guys in the industry on the West Coast, maybe the nation. They're going to provide support. They're going to provide guidance. And we're going to turn this around because we have the support of the community. We have the support of the golf committee and the board. We're going to turn this around. And in 2.5 years, 3 years, when this thing is magical and it's turned around, that superintendent can write their ticket, and we'll probably lose them. The magic that they do, they're going to be swooped and recruited away from here. And so it's a good story. The problem is, as a superintendent, when you come out here, it's probably not the best time to hire a superintendent on August 21st when the golf course is probably at its most stressed. It's challenging. But the good news is those that decline the job, it's good that they declined it now before we hired them and got them in here and they quit. So we have a couple more candidates that we're talking to, and I wouldn't say that they're the 3rd or 4th best candidate. It's just the process. So the most important thing for us to do is get our maintenance staff hired. Then we're going to address the agronomic plan. Then we're going to figure out the watering schedules. Then we're going to figure out the mowing schedules. We got to go through the equipment. There's some of that equipment that you guys bought. It's challenging, and so we're going to have to augment that equipment. And then lastly, it's the capital piece. We're going to have to work with the board to figure out where our priorities are. You know, safety is always paramount, but we definitely want to spend some time and energy on the irrigation and the drainage out there, because that's what's going to turn this thing around, is irrigation and drainage. And by the way, we're going to be transparent. We're going to have these town hall meetings. We're going to share our plan. Just again, this is a kickoff tonight. This is the first time. We don't start till Monday. So I wish I had all the answers to the 1,000 questions, but what you'll get from me is candor, and I'll be direct. And I'll tell you, that's how we're going to process how we're going to take care of the golf course. Thanks, Joe. This one is just, do you have any golf courses similar to Rio Vista and any that have similar demographics? I can look around the room and I can see the demographics. It looks like a golf community. And all of our golf courses serve the golf community. But also with that golf community, we have a lot of residential communities that surround our golf course, and we also cater to them. And we also have our restaurants that serve them. We also have programs that serve them. Nothing is going to be different here. We're excited about being part of this HOA because we know the commitment to get the yes vote to purchase the golf course. That gave us a good indicator that, gosh darn it, people are going to support it. People are going to come here. And so that gives us faith that we can turn this around. But as far as demographics, yeah, very similar. Developmental fees, I can't think of any right now, but we do have private clubs. We have semi-private clubs. So yeah, so I think hopefully that answers your question. We do not have any that are exactly like Rio Vista, but these golf course communities in our golf courses, they believe they're about 95% the same. A punch card, we answered that one. We're anxious to come to the golf. We answered that one too. Oh. I'm just reading this quickly. We've answered some of these. This is just about pricing. Punch cards. Will the mowing be consistent along our fences? We paid a lot of money, premium lot, to have the view of the golf course and some other words I can't read, but that's me. So let me address something that's come up. The mowing will be consistent. But there are areas on the golf course that we've noticed where it seems to me the homeowners have planted their own turf. They've put in their own vegetation, and they're maintaining it. Right now, I don't know what our policy is going to be on that. We will work with the board over the next 90 days as one of those things that we have to address. Why it's great to have the homeowners have pride in their backyards, and I have a backyard and I take pride in it. But there's also a golf course and there's liability issues, workers' comp issues, and so we might have to figure out a way to maybe have a volunteer day, maybe have a CourseCo Cares Day where we can bring everybody out to help on the golf course that wants to volunteer. But we'll have to figure that out. But right now, our policy on it is, hey, let us work with the board, and then we'll address the backyards. We don't want to make any flip statements tonight and say, don't do it anymore, and then upset everybody. And then we also don't want to say, yeah, go ahead and do it, and it creates a bunch of liability. And guess what? That liability is on you. You bought the golf course. So we might be creating an environment where you're suing yourselves. So we want to be careful what we do. We just want to be very careful, and we'll help you navigate that. So that answers that one. What is your turf strategy going to be? I think I answered that. To have one. All right, I'll go back to the crowd for any questions in the crowd now.
Don't do that.
I've never seen a renovation.
Oh, he's talking in a microphone. Yeah, it should pick up.
I've never seen a golf course renovation. Do you do 9 holes at a time, or do you do 1 hole, or do you do the whole course at once?
Yeah, so the good news is, in the traditional sense of the word renovation, something like completely redoing the golf course, we're not doing that here. The bones are here. The design is here. There's no plan to change the design or the bones of the golf course. Addressing the irrigation system? Yes, we will. Addressing tee boxes? Yes, we will. Putting in drainage? Yes, we will. And how will we go about it? We will go about it in a way that's as least intrusive to the players as possible, but being efficient. But the good news, the type of work that we're talking about is not shutting down 9 holes. It's not even shutting down 3 holes. What it could be is being just inconvenient on a hole or two for a limited period of time. And that schedule, when we set that up, we'll put it out well in advance. But we're not looking to do a complete renovation of the golf course at all. Our problem here is delivery of water, getting water out there, mowing, and putting it in proper drainage. That's our attack. We're not worried about redesigning holes or anything like that. So I think we're fine on that one. Yes, sir.
As an outright beginner with golf, are you going to have any type of training, workshops, classes that beginners like me could sign up for?
Yes. So the question, if you didn't hear it, is for beginner golfers, are we going to have any programs designed to introduce people to the game of golf, train them on the game of golf, the etiquette on the game of golf? Absolutely, it'll be part of our programming. We want to bring, again, golf is such a difficult sport. It's an intimidating sport. And part of our curriculum and part of our programming is to have ways to bring people out to the golf course and introduce them to it. What does that program look like today? I know I sound like a broken record. I don't have it, but it is part of CourseCo's core tenets. We have that programming at all of our facilities. We want to get people out, whether that's different types of groups, whether it's 9 holes, whether it's dinner associated with it, whether it's trivia associated with it. whether it's an open house, we will have programs designed to get non-golfers out to the facility, introduce them to the game, and get them comfortable playing. So at the end of the day, if I can turn you into a golfer, I can turn you into a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 customer, and that'd be the hope. Yeah, we want you playing as much golf as possible. Yeah, I'm going to go back here.
You be closing down the restaurant for any period of time to do renovation?
Apparently, we closed it tonight. And I need a, and trust me, I need a drink right now. Apparently, we got some drinkers. So yeah, so there will be periods of time whenever the plan is what we're going to do with the restaurant. There we might be closed for a short period of time, based on initial discussions with the board and understanding the economic environment and kind of what we want to do. There's no intent today to have major renovations. We're talking about we got to get the roof stop leaking. Okay, that's our priority. We need to fix some of this, and then it's cosmetic. That's what we need to do. And cleanliness, we need to do that. But as far as like knocking out walls or whatever, that's not in the plan today. But that doesn't necessarily mean that 2 years from today or 3 years, we don't say, hey, we think it'd be good to put windbreaks out here, fire pits, TVs. We'll have those discussions annually. But right now, the intent is let's clean it up, let's get safety, let's get things that are detrimental to the experience. Let's address those first. And that's the point. Yeah.
Lawn and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't care to.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So the question is, we heard you said that you'd water the grass, but would you fertilize the grass? And the answer is yes. We'll have a fertility program to address that. Yeah. Next question. I can't wait for this one.
Not.
So the question was, you want me to change?
I just gotta switch batteries.
The question was, make sure you take care of the greens as of Monday. That sucks. We thought we'd do them on Tuesday, but yeah, we hear you. So real quick, and Gary, I don't want to give too much agronomic advice or get your input, but the greens are our lifeline here. That is where people spend a majority of their time. That's where they finish the round. That's where they finish the hole. They spend more strokes on the putting green. So our primary objective is to have the best putting surface possible when we do it. And then we go to fairways, we go to tees, outline, we go roughs, outline areas. So greens are critical to us. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. So unfortunately, I'm not an agronomic expert. Gary is shared here, but with the lack of fertility program, the lack of consistent agronomic programs, the lack of watering, 100-degree heat, and the wind, your grass is very stressed, and it's very difficult to grow grass regardless. If we just shoved water on it right now, it's probably not going to do much. It's going to take several months for the temperatures, for the soil temperatures to drop, our fertility program to kick in. We're just going to have to do a few things to get them back. It's not going to happen overnight, but we are definitely aware of it. And I don't know if you want to add anything.
Venting them and some fertilizer would help a lot too.
Thank you. Yes, in the back. Here, I'll bring the microphone to you.
We have some really nice water features on the golf course, some of which don't operate very well right now, and some that need to be cleaned up, which I'm sure you probably know. So is that part of the irrigation plan? Is that part of the renovation?
There was someone in the window. I think they wanted to come in.
He knew how to get it.
Okay. What's a drink? It was we were talking about the ponds on the golf course, which tied to irrigation, and then the aesthetical water features on the golf course. Again, those are on the checklist. If you can imagine, So I'll put the map. It's absolutely as part of the program that we have to figure out what is our plan. And our plan is going to be, as we go through these 1,000 things, we're doing nothing in 2019. And we're going to address this in the fall. We're going to address this in the spring. And we're dealing with everything, and we'll communicate that. But the reality is, you bought a golf course that is in significant decay, decline, it's been deteriorated, it's been neglected, it's had a lot of deferred maintenance. It's going to take time to address all these things. The good news is that the potential, it's unbelievable. We're excited to be part of it because we see that how many households are here. Fortunately for us, we also see that you are contributing $8.30-something to the golf course. So there's actual funding to make sure that the golf course is viable long term. We also know that if you just look at this room today, if only 30 people showed up tonight, I'd be like, oh crap. What? I don't think we'll sports it. So, but to look around and say, look at all the passion, we're going to be okay. But the thing I want to do is temper expectations because I've been in two situations. One where we under-promised and over-delivered and we killed it. Then we worked for somebody else and we under-promised, but the owners over-promised and said, hey, we're going to have Augusta in 6 months, we're going to have this. And I'm like, I don't even care how much money you have. Can't turn around that fast. But all of those things are on the list and it's a lot. And I'm not going to comment other than Warrior and the previous owner probably had some challenges and they probably made some decisions to preserve cash flow for them. And it left us in a tough spot now, and we got to go back and address all those. And we're going to. And we're going to address them. Won't see any more hands. I see that. Do we have a name for the restaurant? Yeah, it's Sir Flair's. Okay, next question. No, so in the next 90 days, we talked about that today. There will be a name change. That process is not going to be handled by us. We will participate in the process and the renaming of the restaurant. That reflects the community and reflects what we're trying to accomplish here, and that'll be done through the board.
I thought you said Renaissance.
Well, we have a renaissance going on, but I don't know about the actual name. I'll leave that to the board. The question is, where is the water going to come from? I'm not even going to be flip or try to be funny on that one. But I'm assuming it's going to come from our wells. It's going to come from our water source. And I believe the reason that the water hasn't been on is more about economic decisions and manpower and a strategy and a distribution, an irrigation system that is fully functional and distributing the water, dispersing it adequately. Our plan is to attack that irrigation system and to be a water source. I'll answer it that way. I'll answer for the board. The question was, is there a recycling program? And the board said no. Okay. Next question. You don't get to ask all the questions.
That was my second. He asked 3. Anyway, the question I have is we've been enjoying live music here on and off, and it's brought out a lot of people, and I'm hoping that you guys are going to continue that.
So the question is, if you didn't hear, is your programming going to include live music? Absolutely. We have live music at several of our facilities, and we believe it's good for the golfers, the non-golfers, and it helps with food and alcohol sales. So yes.
Are we going to continue Tuesday night trivia and Thursday night bingo?
We switched them. No. So what we'll be doing, again, our intent is not to change any of the programs other than this. Enhance them, maybe help promote them, market them, maybe bring some enhancements to it, but also add more things to the calendar. The more that we can get you using the facility, whether that's trivia, bingo, karaoke, whatever it may be, we're going to introduce it here and then demand that you come and utilize it and hang out, participate, and spend your money with us. And again, I'm not like, I know I've said some funny jokes tonight, I think. But I'm not being flip when I talk about the money thing. We really need your support, and I can't emphasize that enough. All right, we're getting the double questioners.
Just one real quick question. Will you have a suggestion box somewhere, maybe in the pro shop, that maybe a big, huge barrel, that we could suggest things that have worked in the past? And
The question was, are you going to have a suggestion box? Yeah, it's going to be in the middle of the lake, floating out there. Feel free to put all your suggestions in. Yeah, and we check it every 5 years. Yeah. No, so in all seriousness, though, there is a golf committee that's been formed. That is where you will go and voice your concerns through them. And I don't know, Barry, if you want to touch on that for 15 seconds. 15.
As part of the charter for our new golf advisory, the permanent committee, what we are going to try to help CourseCo do is to take exactly what Linda was suggesting, suggestions, problems, whatever. It doesn't do a lot of good for 4,000 people to walk into the general manager's office every day with problems and whatever. Then he can't do what he was hired, or she can't do what she was hired to do. So we're going to set up vehicles. You'll be able to use the TRVMA sites and so on to send us issues and questions, and then when we start to see trends, we'll be having meetings with CourseCo, and we will try to come to resolutions and recommendations for both the Master Board and CourseCo regarding policy, playing, etc. So, you know, just keep in mind, the one thing that I would love to counsel you on is Mike keeps talking about 3 years. Now, we had a meeting before this, and we said, no, Mike, tell him 5 years, okay? He's an optimist, and he'll deliver. I know it because I've experienced it, but keep in mind, you need to be patient. You're going to need to be patient with the new superintendent. You're going to need to be patient with the people serving. They're going to be trained. They might even have name tags. Novel ideas. I want to tell you a quick funny story, and then, you know, we can see if there's any more questions, and we can all end as friends. Number one, you can probably figure out why we didn't serve liquor tonight. Number two, most of you know Jim Rostick, who is the president of the 18-hole men's club. He's also my hero because Jim is the president of Eagle Point, where I live. Okay? Jim handed our committee about 5 months ago, he handed each one of us a yellow ball with the logo, "Is Warrior Gone Yet?" The next time I play golf, I will be using that ball. Thank you, Jim.
Wow, that was 14 and a half seconds. Hey! I gotta go here first, though.
I have a question. This building here. Whoops. Is this thing on? Yes. Okay. The acoustics in this building are awful. The wood on the dome there, it just echoes things back. You can't hear yourself think. Will you be working on acoustics? Because when they put the dividers up for different meetings, it's like a thin little piece of fiber.
The question was, and thanks a lot over there, because I can't hear you because of the acoustics, by the way. But the question was, are you going to address the acoustics in the building? And we are. It's actually, when we came here 6, 7 years ago, we were having meetings out here, and it was like impossible to hear each other talk. There was groups over here having a good time, which we want them to have, and then we were sitting back there. It's very difficult. So part of the planning, add it to the lakes, add it to the T-box, it's on the list. We know there's so many things to address, and Barry's right. He's probably tempered things by saying there's so much to do that realistically turning around, you know, by the time we have these town hall meetings in 5 years, we'll be talking about adding maybe a hot pastrami sandwich on the menu. That'll be the biggest complaint. But right now, we have so many things to address, and we're going to put it on the list. It'll be on the list. I promise you that. You're welcome. Now,
this is more right now, and I'm just curious. I've been here 13 years. I've saw our greens in 13 years, and they haven't been bad at all through summer. We get a little bit of milkweed and stuff that we spray for them, or they spray for them. This year, and maybe Gary can answer it, I don't know, because a lot of my friends have been asking me, Greg, what's happening? You go look at our greens right now. 15 is my front yard, 17 is my backyard green. They're dying. Now, I know a little bit about golf course, and I have never yet, in the 13 years I've lived here, saw people go out with hoses in the middle of the day when it's 103 degrees on cool season bent grass, and they're watering them. What they're doing, aren't they boiling the grass? And which causes mildew, and now they're dying on us right now. So if you've got a superintendent coming in here Monday, like I said, maybe Gary can answer it. I've never saw these greens do this before, and this is the only time in 13 years I see guys out in the middle of the day hosing them down like this at 2 p.m. when it's 103 degrees. They should be watered between 4 and 6 a.m. every day for a period of time. Not what they're doing. We're not going to have some greens left on a few of our greens. And right now, it's serious because we still have 2 to 2.5 months left.
So the question, or it was a statement, was what's going on with the greens right now? I can't speak to what they're doing today, but as of Monday, and we already had guys out here. As of Monday, we will have, we will have agronomic practices that are conducive to preserving the greens and enhancing the playing surfaces. That's what we'll have.
That's the first time I've heard that's going to be done because we're going to lose greens.
Yeah. Do you want to address what's going on in the greens quickly?
What the process that's going on here is whatever they decide to do. The right process is to vent the greens, fertilize the greens, verticut the greens, mow them regularly. All the water goes on at night, and then somebody goes out in the morning and tests the green to see if there's any dry spot, hit the dry spot early in the morning, leave it the rest of the day. That's how it's done.
But they're watering at 2 in the afternoon when it's 103 degrees.
That's because they don't know what they're doing, Craig.
That's what I'm trying to say. We're losing our greens. I would have fired them guy a long time ago.
All right, I promise to get over here. I'm a little nervous with this section. Go ahead.
Oh, you shouldn't be. I'm a big supporter of the course.
Folks, in order to be fair to everybody, that side of the room hasn't asked as many questions as you interested parties over here, so please extend the courtesy that they gave you, please.
Mike, you've talked a lot about what's going to happen evaluation-wise in the next 90 days. It makes a lot of sense that you're going to take some time to figure out what's the right way to do. My question is, what has CourseCo done for other courses on the marketing side to start to generate outside golfers coming in here? We see guys here all the time that say, give us 6 months, get for the rains to come in, and we'll be in much better shape. But I want to specifically know what CourseCo has done on other courses to help market those courses to bring in people from the outside, not just the local community.
So if you didn't hear the question, it's what has CourseCo done in the past? What are they going to do here when it comes to sales and marketing? I got good news. I got a sales and marketing guy here. I got to wake him up. There he is. Hello. So I got to first answer it this way, though. The question was, what are you going to do sales and marketing to bring people out here to play? The reality is, we're in a tough spot right now. And again, I temper it by saying, man, we can go do a social media campaign. We can go out there and blitz it. We can hit all the social media from Instagram, Facebook, and go right down the list. We could buy third-party list. We can go to Fairfield. We can go to Lodi, Stockton, Sacramento. We can hit it. We have a database of 185,000 golfers in Northern California that is proprietary to us that we have. I can hit them with a message, hey, come out here and play. The risk that we have today in the next couple months is I do that, I get one shot to capture them. They're going to come out here and go, this wasn't worth it. So we have to be very careful about that. But specifically, the things that we're going to be doing I will turn it over to Lance. Lance talks way more than I do, but less than Barry, but way more than I do. And maybe you could just talk for 1 minute. Heather's waiting for me.
5 seconds.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks. So Mike's great at answering the question and then leaving me very few talking points and handing me the mic. So the plan here specifically is always going to be to make sure that our #1 focus is providing golf access to the residents and finding ways for non-resident golfers who hopefully want to pay a little bit more to come out and play when the people in this room don't. And as Mike said, if you guys are having a party, what's the first thing you do? You clean the house up a little bit before you invite people over. So we have a little house cleaning to do here. And Mike's also right. The reputational awareness of this golf course is one that even for $23 is not a great experience. So we need to improve the golf course experience. We need to improve the playing conditions. And then the great news is because of our overall, the number of golf courses that we have in this market, we have a huge flamethrower to both spread the news about the Renaissance happening, reintroduce this product to the golfers in Northern California, get stories printed about the Renaissance of this property in newspapers, periodicals, and when we do that, the people will come, and the golf course, as Mike has said in the past, was once one that was very well renowned in this area, and it will be again.
So if I might jump in here just a little bit. Number one, are they not like we advertised? Just so you know, these guys came from Petaluma. They have not eaten at all today. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the last 2 questions and let them go, okay? So if somebody has something that we have not addressed in any way, shape, or form, now's the time to ask you. Mike, I've got 2 over here, and the lady that has the microphone, take it away from her. Yeah.
Oh, no.
So we're going to take the 2 from that room, we'll take the 2 from here, and we'll call it a night. Thank you very much.
I just want to say, my husband and I moved here 3 years ago, and this place really, it was enticing because he was from Santa Rosa, I was from Vacaville, and it was enticing. The only thing I have to say to everybody in this room is give them a chance. It's not going to happen overnight. We cannot be concerned if this is going to happen and that's going to happen. Because in my career, things don't happen overnight. It's going to take a good 6 months to, somebody said 5 years maybe. Hopefully not. But the fact is, we need to give them a chance and not be so concerned if this is going to happen and that's going to happen. Because for the last 3 years, Warriors has done nothing. And I appreciate you coming into here. Thank you.
I'll buy you guys drinks.
Mike, the lady back there.
Hi. I just wanted to address, I think it was your marketing person. As a golfer, what are the plans for the pro shop for increasing merchandising so that people actually want to buy something that's in the pro shop? And as a woman who shops constantly at other golf courses, most of my clothing I buy outside because of the other shops.
Well, I think I'm the one to answer that question because I have more fashion sense than this guy. So in all seriousness, the first thing we're going to do, and this is like, and I'm being very respectful here, but we need to get rid of merchandise that says Warrior Golf on it in the pro shop. That's the first thing. Second of all, when it comes to a merchandise plan in the shop, we know that if we put good quality product in there for men and women, we know that it will sell. And what we're going to do is we will have a merchandise program. We'll have a planogram, as Sean Silva, our senior operating manager, has coined. We will have a merchandise program. But the expectation, again, just like the restaurant, we're going to stock it. And in a roundabout way, you own it, so we're going to expect you to buy it. And we're going to take feedback. Our manager's going to take feedback. You want Adidas, you want Tommy Bahama, you want this and that. We'll go and get it and stock it, but our expectations are you're going to buy it. And we want you buying merchandise here. We want you proud of the logo. We want you proud of the brand. And the more merchandise that we sell, the more money we make, and the more we have advertisers out there with people with that logo out in the community. So that's the answer. We have one more over here and then over there.
So somebody was a good lobbyist. So we have two over here, Mike. Somebody who hasn't asked a question tonight, please.
Mike, this is probably a silly question, but are they going to reevaluate the handicap system on this golf course?
So I was not planning to answer that question tonight, and I have gone through 1,000 scenarios over the weekend in anticipation of tonight. It's not easy standing up here and answering the questions, and we've gone through all the questions dry run, and the handicap question never came up. So I don't have an answer other than I will leave that to the governing body, Northern California Golf Association. We'll put it to them, and we'll do that on your behalf and say, hey, we're taking over the golf course. We want you to come out and evaluate it. I don't know what they'll say in the state of the condition of the course now, but maybe we have them do it next year or the year after. But we will reach out to the NCGA and see what they say on that topic.
I just figured that since Ted Robinson Sr. designed this golf course, that they had a handicap set up the way they wanted it for the golf course when it's in good shape.
You have a very good architect in Ted Robinson who designed this golf course. You have phenomenal bones and architecture here. But the playing surfaces we got to fix. But you're right, it's a different golf course than what it was 20 years ago, just based on the state of it. But we'll put that to the NCGA. Okay.
Especially when they find out that we actually don't play the bunkers.
This better be a good question.
Hello. Okay, so this is going to be the final question. So before we ask the final question, please, folks, we need to leave in the same orderly fashion that you came. They'll be here for a little while if you have specific questions that you want to ask, but I can't imagine there's anything else that you could have asked. Yes, ma'am.
I've been living here 10 years, and when Shay owned it, they used to change the putting hole every day. And they had flags, different colored flags. You knew one was up front, one was in the middle, one was in the back. I'm going on 75 next month, and I can hardly see these flags at all. So I want to do something like that.
Oh, that's cool. You're going to miss the big finish. All right. It was going to be awesome, too. So the answer to that question real quick, I don't know today specifically what the flag pin placement rotation will be. But standard at all of our facilities is that we rotate the cups every day. And second, we have some type of pin indicator, whether that's colored flags or a pin sheet that's on every cart that says, today is flag number 1. So it's in the front on all these holes. And we have some way to communicate what's going on. So that'll be as part of, as we go through the protocol and the policies, we'll address that. Okay, and on that, before I turn it over to Barry, I honestly, I really appreciate giving us the opportunity to talk tonight. I appreciate the questions that came. I know that we probably didn't have the specifics to your questions, but hopefully you believe in us. This is an exciting time. I think that you are on the cusp of something pretty special here to be part of this renaissance, and we're excited to be part of it. And at the next town hall, we will do this again, and we will get in front of you, and you might be happy, you might be sad, but we will answer your questions. We are your partner, and we'll be transparent, and we'll give you everything that we have, and I promise you on that. And with that, thank you for letting us be your partner. I'm excited to get started.
So, before you all leave, let's once again thank our HOA people, both Dave and Ed and Scott. And again, I know you want to join me in thanking our master board for all the work that's been done over the last 24 months.